Welcome back, Sunrise, and we're looking at open governance. Yes, tackling the menace of corruption is not an easy task, but it is possible, even if many feathers have to be ruffled. The federal government's efforts in tackling corruption is also evident in the freedom and support granted to national anti-corruption agencies to enable them carry out their respective mandates without interference or hindrance from any quarters, including the government. Now, some might wonder about Now, flowing from these commitments, the government sought to deepen institutional and policy reforms, and this led Nigeria to joining the Open Government Partnership in July 2016 as a 70th country. But has that worked in any way? The relationship between the government and the governed, is it working? The Freedom of Information law, came forward to ensure that information flows from government to the citizens. But is it flowing that way? Is corruption really being fought at the institutions, working to ensure that corruption is tackled to a standstill?
In 3 years,
EFCC,
nobody has been
Senate,
convicted.
And all of that. But we'll look at that in a moment. We have our guest in the studio to help us understand what's happening. We'll introduce them now, and then we'll go to Kaduna. Let me introduce them now. Michael Zekome is a legal practitioner, constitutional lawyer, and human rights activist. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome, viewers.
And sitting beside him is Malaki Ugumadu, a legal practitioner and president of a committee for defense of human rights.
I'm delighted to be here.
And also here on my right is Noro Edokbolo, a development expert. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, gentlemen, that's a good one. So let's start from that point. Mr. Zekome and all of us, let's just weigh in on that. Kaduna adopting the electronic voting system for local government elections. Real quick, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a good development. It takes the electoral process to a higher altitude. And if properly managed, if it doesn't fail and it is not manipulated, because at the end of the day, any computer system, any electronic system is garbage in, garbage out. It's what you put in that you get out. And it has been shown through photoshopping that any electronic can be manipulated for advantage or for disadvantage. You can see a photoshopping of a man kissing a woman when they have never even met, ever. And it will look so clean, so neat. You could see a person. There are many photoshopping of Mr. President seen dancing with the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, and they are dancing. The real face is the same, the mouth is the same, but they've been simulated on a fake body of a woman and a man, and you see them dancing. But it is not really true.
But Mr. Zekome, we know that photoshopping happens and all that. But in this connection, do you think this is a step in the right direction as far as elections are concerned?
That was my first sentence.
Okay.
I said it's a step in the right direction when properly managed.
Okay, Malaki.
Well, it speaks to the desire of a nation to aspire to greater heights and ensure some progress in the credibility of the electoral exercise. However, the report by your correspondent also clearly establishes the reservations. The one is that speaking directly to the law, is it permissible at the moment? What does the Electoral Act say at the moment with respect to the usage of those devices? Secondly, is the level of our development, generally, infrastructural development. If by almost 10 a.m. or thereabout, we still fiddling with the machines and equipment that we're supposed to use to facilitate and upgrade our electoral processes is still malfunctioning, as it were, then we need to put our house in order first before we'll just jump into the air. So it's great that we keep aspiring, keep making steady and conscious effort towards an improved electoral processes. But the reality on the ground is so that the teeth that we get a lot of other factors in place before we move.
No.
Okay, yes, I also support the fact that I think it's a good development. I want to say that, this gives INEC an opportunity to further do what we call a proof of concept. So it would be good if they can take the learnings from this exercise such that come more elections in the future, you don't have something not working by 11 a.m. So you want to, for example, be able to say...
10 actually.
Yes. 10 a.m., yes. What happened here? Because you see a recurrence sometimes of the same faults. And so you begin to ask yourself, you know, are we not taking any learnings from this thing? So for me, it's an opportunity for INEC to test run once more. You know, it's like going live before the real life. So yes, yes.
Okay, talking about introducing things into a system, let's come back to the issue of governance, open governance. Would you say, Mr. Zakame, that government or governance in Nigeria has been open enough?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. It has not been open at all. Governance in Nigeria has been more or less an affair of the elites, by the elites, and for the elites. Contrary to the textbook definition of democracy by the late American President Abraham Lincoln in his 1863 Gettysburg Declaration, that democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We are seeing a democracy that is less than a democracy because the adjunct features of a good democratic concept are not being maintained. For example, independent and fearless, courageous judiciary, an uninhibited press, freedom to hold the government accountable and responsible to the Nigerian people under Section 22 of the Constitution, openness and transparency, building strong institutions and not strong men and strong women who act imperiously, like Louis XIV of France, who would beat his chest imperiously and say, "L'État c'est moi, I am the state." So we are having a system where there's too much hero worshipping, swashbuckling, grandstanding, defilement of institutions put in place to deepen, strengthen, and widen the democratic space. So I believe that governments in Nigeria have not been very open to the people.